On Eyewitness News tonight, new hope for the family of a North Providence woman who was brutally murdered inside her own home more than a decade ago.
I had to wake my mother up. That was the hardest thing to do. That was the hardest thing to do. To tell your mother your sister had been killed.
Tonight, we've learned police are hoping a new round of DNA testing will finally lead to Kimberly Morse's killer.
Eyewitness News reporter Catherine Sotnick has been gathering new details on the case for weeks, and she joins us with a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News tonight.
Well, it was in the wee hours of that January morning that Kimberly Morse returned here to her apartment. She was right here in this hallway when she was violently attacked by the murderer. The stillness of a winter night shattered by the sound of fire engines. Crews rushing to put out flames at Kimberly Morse's North Providence apartment made the shocking discovery.
She was violently stabbed over 7 times.
Police say the 32-year-old dancer at the Foxy Lady was brutally murdered in her basement apartment on Cynthia Street.
It is believed that someone was waiting either inside the apartment or outside the apartment when Miss Morse got home at 1:30 in the morning.
Her body was then set on fire in the bathtub.
I came home and this was all in progress.
This man, who now lives next door to the former crime scene, rented the apartment to Morse.
There was blood all over the kitchen and the bathroom.
And more than a decade later, the murderer is still on the loose. We met up with the Morse family who live in Maine. They tell us it's a nightmare that haunts them to this day.
You know, she was such a beautiful girl.
Kimberly's big sister still clings to hope the person responsible will be brought to justice.
He's got to be walking around with so much guilt. And that's one of my prayers, is that every time he looks at himself in the mirror, he sees the blood on my sister's hands, on his hands, that he can never get away from that.
Other investigators
And now, almost 12 years later, North Providence police tell us they're re-examining this brutal crime.
We actually have resubmitted some evidence within the past 2 weeks to the crime lab. We're hoping to get a profile of the murderer.
The case, which fills 7 binders and has dozens of suspects, has also been reanalyzed by the New England State Police Network. And as the seasons change and the years go by, Kimberly Morse's family waits for word of an arrest. Her sister has a simple message also for anyone who can help with the case.
Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. Just do the right thing.
And right now, North Providence police are awaiting the results of that DNA testing, which currently is at the State Crime Lab at URI. Reporting with the mobile newsroom from North Providence, I'm Catherine Sotnick, Eyewitness News.
We spent weeks working with police and researching this case. You can find much more online right now at WPRI.com, including a complete timeline, an original Eyewitness News report on the murder from our archives more than 10 years ago, and information on how you can help police track down the killer who has been on the run now for over a decade.